First in studio podcast of 2026. The show will end with me hitting reply all to someone else's Christmas newsletter. Let's start the show.
The Tom Kelly Show. Everybody, I want you to go to the Tom Kelly Show. I want you all to know about the Tom Kelly Show.
Here we go. Content warning, spoiler alert. Should old acquaintances be forgot? Who wants the podcast today? You are experiencing the Tom Kelly Show. This is going to be a quick I'm in the apartment podcast. First, let me do a quick thank you. This podcast is officially 5 years old, more than 5 years old. And when this podcast started, it was during the pandemic. It was during the time when there were fewer podcasts and people had more time. Now there are more podcasts, more content options, and people are out and back in the world today. So if you're actually consuming this, thank you. I don't know what else to say, but thank you. For those of you who are new to the Tom Kelly Show podcast, this is the podcast where one comedian, Tom Kelly, gets back to having fun. This used to be like, at one point, this was like a self-help and therapy podcast. This podcast has taken a number of forms, and it's really just been a blank slate sort of a podcast, a place for me to just ramble, kind of like a notebook, kind of like this notebook I have here, where I could ramble, and then a couple, and then maybe like little bits or morsels come out of it. And some of the morsels and bits that have come out of it have become viral clips. It's January 1st, 2:15 p.m. I have to be on Long Island for a dinner reservation at 4. I don't have to be. I get to be. I'm blessed that my mother and father and brother want to have a meal with me. And yeah, it's just, stressful trying to be in 100 places at once. And, I usually love January 1st. It's the day where I make a list of New Year's resolutions. And I have like a little marble notebook. Kind of like a diary, I guess, or journal, whatever you want to call it. And I'll make this list of resolutions, like it's something fresh, something exciting. And it's usually a list of like, write more jokes, be nicer to my parents, stop eating ice cream, this, that, and the other thing. And then I'll have this moment, like I never thought of it before, to look at whatever I wrote down last year. And generally, it's the same 10 things, just in a different order. So this year, I did not write my resolutions. I have one big one. I started last year with a creative project that I recommend to anybody who listens to this show and is in a creative rut. The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. It took me 36 weeks to complete a 12-week program, and I'm thinking about doing it again. Basically, it's a real artsy-fartsy, hippy-dippy sort of book about your feelings that tries to get you unblocked as a creative personality. And the core of it, in one sentence, is getting back to the childlike joy of creating. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately. I have let success get in the way of my joy. Like the podcast, the clips started doing well, and then I started thinking, less about the podcast and more about making clips. My Instagram, which is actually doing well. If you have a chance, please like and comment wherever you get a chance. It's Tom Kelly Show on TikTok, Tom Kelly Show on Instagram, and of course, Tom Kelly Show on YouTube. And and it's funny, then what happens is you go from being like creative, you start thinking, how am I going to turn this into a business? How's this going to be the next step of my career? And I mean that about the podcast. I mean that about the Instagram. And I mean that about my stand-up. I mean, if you think about it, my stand-up turned into warm-up, which turned into a nice little career. It's why many of you are here. The Instagram videos, a couple of funny clips led to a couple of you guys being here on this podcast. And then when you start thinking about where it's going, you screw up the creating. You screw up being where you are. Like actually, my most viral clip of November is a clip of me singing on the subway, singing happy birthday to my sister-in-law. I think it has almost 300,000 views on TikTok.
Attention, people of the subway. My name is Tom. It is my sister-in-law's birthday. I'm making her a birthday video trying to get her to come to New York City. Will you all join with me in singing happy birthday to my sister-in-law, Janine? Ready? Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Come on, New York. Happy birthday to you. Just a little louder for her. Happy birthday, dear Janine. Happy birthday to you. Do you hear that? They're singing for you, Janine. You're the best sister-in-law ever. Happy birthday. Look, New York is cheering for you, Janine. Come to New York. Come to New York. All right, that's pushing it. That was pushing it. That was pushing it.
And what makes, and I, of course, once you do one thing that's successful, I beat the horse to death and do 5 others like it. And a couple of the subsequent singing videos did well. But what made that first one so successful was I didn't do it as a video to go viral or to, I didn't even plan on distributing it on my Instagram. I just did it to be fun. And the subsequent videos, if you look, it became Tom trying harder and harder and harder until on Christmas Eve, my nephew Luke asked me to stop doing them. You know, and you get into it, man. I don't know. Like, so anyway, I just want to thank you guys for being a part of this process. Thank you guys for helping me have fun. You know, like I'm trying to think about who I am as a comedian. Like one of the things that has come up with when last year I was aggressive about using ChatGPT as my therapist. And one of the great lines ChatGPT had for me was, Tom, stop making sadness your brand. You know? And I'm trying to think of who I am as a comedian. I think I'm someone who is gently rebelling. You know, like if like half of my joy is rebelling against my very proper upbringing in a gentle way. You know, like if you look at like where my initial Long Island videos started doing well, it's me rebelling against the town in a gentle and fun way. You know, I'm a rebel, Dot. I'm a loner, Dottie. I'm a rebel. Name the movie, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. You know, like, and when I'm rebelling, I'm not doing it so bad that I'm causing big fights, but maybe slight irritation. You know, I like to check power, make people think, while also making them laugh and smile. You know, and then it's funny. I just did this whole big thing. Who am I rebelling against? The pretty and popular people I desperately want to love me. You know, like it's just like, it's funny with my, I think a lot of comedians do this. It's a lot of Tom Kelly biting the hands that feed him, or Tom Kelly slamming shut the vaginas I want to be in. I know that's gross, but you get what I'm saying. In the realm of me quietly rebelling, here is the story I wanted to tell you guys. So I've talked about this before. I have a very common email. Or actually, let's go even crazier. As you know, part of why I'm not famous is my name is Tom Kelly. That's a very common name. There's lots of Tom Kellys out there. The manager of the Minnesota Twins, the man who invented the lunar rover was a Thomas J. Kelly from Long Island, worked for Grumman. I don't show up number one when you put in Tom Kelly comedian. There's like 3 other Tom Kellys who are comedians, including one who works for Sirius Radio. So sometimes I'll get emails meant for other Tom Kellys on my Gmail. This wrong number email was the holiday newsletter from a woman named Sue Dentinger. She sent it out to about 100 of her friends and did not hit the blind CC button. I'll give you a couple of highlights. First thing she says is, it might be odd we didn't address what a terrible year it has been for our country. I hope you don't mind that we kept that out of the letter. And there's a Google Doc, and I'll give you just some of the highlights. Lots of pictures of Sue and Mark, a married older couple with gray hair. They had a vacation in Mumbai, India. Lots of family pictures. There's a picture of Mark with a robot dog. Sue's dad, Fred, passed away. And one of the pictures includes a flower wreath on Half Moon Bay above Fred's recently scattered ashes. In the realm of Tom Kelly rebelling against the system, I decide I am going to reply all and write my own holiday letter to all of Sue Dentinger's friends and family. I will begin. Hello, Dentingers. I think you put the wrong Tom Kelly on your list. That said, I enjoyed the thoughtful family newsletter. My name is Tom Kelly. I'm a stand-up comedian who has a podcast and is known for making jokes about Long Island, New York. All of that is at Tom Kelly Show and TomKellyShow.com. You got to get the plug in the beginning. Politically, it was a frustrating year. But as a comedian who lost a job on a TV show because they wanted to go in a more diverse direction, I understand how our country wound up in the disaster we're in. I pray for centered politicians who can pull this country closer to the middle. I pray for compassionate leadership. And then I just decide to keep typing. I'll say a prayer for Sue's dad. The one thing I do right in life is I'm an over-thanker. I'm also an I love you guy. Whether it be the holidays or an average Tuesday in March, please be sure to throw in a few extra I love yous. Mark, next newsletter, we need a video of the robot dog. That robot dog looked fun and scary. My 2025 had its ups and downs. I broke both of my wrists in a biking accident in August. That kind of derailed my 2025 with unexpected therapy and medical bills. I'm hoping that 2026 will be my year. But you know what? I'm moving. The people I love seem happy. And if I can hold status quo, maybe it already is. I see an Allie Dyer on this list. I got stood up for a date by an Allie Dyer this July. I felt sad at the time, but I'm seeing someone much younger and hotter now. I don't think it will last long, but it's a fun way to end the year. Realize I'm sending this to 100 strangers. I know it's obnoxious to hit reply all on a stranger's holiday email. But on the other hand, I hope the idea of getting good wishes from a comedian across the country in New York brings you all a little bit of joy. Happy New Year. Signed, the wrong Tom Kelly. And you'll be happy to know the Dentingers had a sense of humor. Sue hit reply all again. Tom, I did a total LOL. I enjoyed your note back. Just so you know, I was off by one initial to my Tom Kelly, a former neighbor in Wisconsin. I've heard of your show, but not being a TV person, I haven't watched it. I'll check it out later. And then I want to let you know that Allie Dyer doesn't live near you. She's a very gorgeous and complete class act who would never stand anybody up. She'd inform you first. Besides that, she's a happily married professional with little ones, so she has no time to date. So there you go. In the end, thank you to the Dentinger family. A couple of other people from the list replied. Steve Hineker said, you have to keep this Tom Kelly on the list. And yeah, you know, I'm going to keep this short because, again, I want to keep this stuff fun. Thank you guys for, you know, maybe I need to change the caption of this show yet again. The Tom Kelly Show, the podcast where one comedian from Long Island gets back to having fun. Maybe it is the Tom Kelly Show, where one comedian from Long Island is having fun. Thank you for having fun with me. A couple of quick shout outs as people are messaging me, even though the do not disturb button is hit on this phone. I see Jason Kornblatt, who pays $150 a month for his Chat GPT. We'll explain that later. I see Tara. Who I met on New Year's Eve 2 or 3 nights ago and made me feel like my comedy made her a little bit happier. And I thank you, Tara, for taking the time to tell me that and sticking with me and this podcast all those years later. I see my friend Elle, who helped me end the old year on a happy note. And I see you. New podcast generally every Sunday. Next week's podcast is already recorded. Me and my friend Steve Berger will be exploring the worst parking lot on Long Island, the Trader Joe's of Merrick, and we will be talking about the worst parking lots on Long Island as ranked by TomKellyShow Instagram commenters. But that's enough for now. If you have a chance, tell someone you like my stuff. If you have a chance, leave a comment and interact with each other. That brings me joy. It makes the podcast feel more substantial. But most importantly for you, don't let trying too hard and trying to make something big get in the way of you trying at all. Until next time, friends, Happy New Year, New York.